BBC is accused of election bias after leak mentions coverage strategy on Tommy Robinson. Welcome to Back Britain. Unfold, a leaked set of internal BBC messages, has stirred controversy this week following claims that senior editorial staff discussed how to frame election time coverage of political figures, including Tommy Robinson, the independent candidate and activist who remains a polarising figure in British public life. The leak, which came from an unnamed former BBC staffer, was first shared through an independent transparency outlet and has since gone viral on social media platforms. The documents, though not illegal or overtly scandalous, show behind-the-scenes editorial planning that some critics argue raises questions about impartiality, particularly in the run-up to national elections. The leaked content includes email exchanges and internal chat logs between senior editorial staff and producers. In these communications, various figures, including former political editor Laura Kuenssberg, are seen discussing how to responsibly cover candidates considered controversial or divisive, with Tommy Robinson specifically named in several threads. In one section, producers debated the potential impact of giving undue attention to candidates who mobilise online first-start audiences. Another message raised the question of whether focusing on Robinson's campaign would amplify views that could be seen as extreme by many. While there is no evidence of wrongdoing or rule-breaking, the tone of these exchanges has prompted pushback from free speech advocates and supporters of Robinson, who argue that the coverage, or lack thereof, could shape public perception unfairly during a democratic process. The BBC has since acknowledged the existence of the internal conversations, but defended the editorial discussions as routine and essential for maintaining journalistic responsibility. Our editorial teams routinely discuss how to provide fair and proportionate coverage of all candidates, especially during sensitive election periods, the BBC said in a brief public statement. Tommy Robinson, who is currently campaigning as an independent candidate in several constituencies, responded directly to the leak via a live stream on his social media channels. In his comments, he accused the BBC of trying to manage public perception and silence independent voices. "This isn't journalism, it's control," Robinson claimed. "The public deserve to hear from every candidate, not just the ones they, the BBC, approve of." Robinson's remarks sparked strong reactions across the political spectrum. While his supporters see this as evidence of institutional bias, critics argue that responsible editorial judgment, especially when dealing with figures known for provocative statements, is not censorship but standard practice. Laura Kuenssberg, one of the most prominent journalists named in the leak, has not issued an individual comment on the situation. However, her past reporting and public image make her a focal point for this broader conversation. Though some accuse Kuenssberg of holding establishment-aligned views, others point out that she has faced criticism from both the right and left throughout her career, arguably a sign of balanced reporting. Her involvement in internal conversations around figures like Robinson is not unusual for a senior editorial figure, but it has still raised questions about how far journalists should go when deciding who gets platformed during election season. Media ethics experts are now weighing in. Professor Ellis Parker of the London School of Journalism remarked, "There's a difference between bias and editorial responsibility. If someone's platform is known for inflammatory rhetoric, media organisations must balance the public's right to know with the risk of legitimising harmful narratives. It's not an easy line to walk. Public opinion on the matter is deeply divided. On one hand, civil liberties organisations and free speech advocates say the BBC should not pre-decide which candidates deserve exposure, particularly when taxpayer money is involved. On the other hand, watchdog groups that monitor disinformation argue that amplifying certain figures without sufficient context can inadvertently mislead or inflame public sentiment, especially in a digital environment where clips can go viral without full explanation." This was today's important update. We want to make it clear that our videos do not contain any kind of misinformation. Our only goal is to deliver true and verified news from across the UK, right here on Britain Unfold. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the Britain Unfold channel. Thank you.